I don't know if you guys saw over the weekend, there was a lot of drama. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's all related to like EWC Tekken. Coaching has been like such a nefarious topic on the timeline. And basically, if you want a summary, just go to Speedkicks' timeline. Literally every 5 minutes, he just like there's like a million of these tweets. I've talked about this before. I don't like coaching in Tekken tournaments, and the reason is very simple. It has nothing to do with the competitive advantage of the event. I'm sick of watching the event where somebody finishes a match and then they spend 60 seconds talking to their coach and then the other guy's coach, and then they got to get on and off the stage, and then they go get ready for the next battle, and they go back to stage select. It just takes a long time. It really slows down the finals of the tournament a lot because every game they like go back to character select, they hover over 9 characters, they get 60 seconds of coaching, they random select a stage, they play a match, they go back to characters, and it's like, oh my god, it's so long. I don't know why. Like, it didn't used to be this way for any, like, honestly, any game. Like, the breaks between matches because people are constantly having someone come up and coach between every single one is so wild. Part of the fighting game experience is like it's supposed to be reasonably fast on a rules level. And I'm not saying anybody is like breaking the rules necessarily, but it does slow down quite a bit for some reasons. Now, onto the actual merits of coaching and like whether it makes sense as a choice for our events. I think coaching in fighting games is one of those things that can or can't have a big impact depending on the level of coaching you get and how much time you have. There are moments where someone could give you advice that's like pretty pertinent, whether the advice is like something about the game, something your opponent's doing, something as simple as like, stop hitting buttons here. Like, just every time you hit buttons here, you always die, stop. It could be something like, hey dude, be cool, just play slow. Some super basic advice like that to something really specific, to something related to frame data, to just a whole lot of nothing that makes them lose because your advice is bad. It could be anything, right? So you have to be pretty careful about how you allow it and the way it works. Right now, there are rules specifically for TWT, which is that it's like 60 seconds or something that you have between coaching with your dedicated coach between rounds. I'm kind of the opinion that this 60-second situation is just like too long. And the reason is it's not actually 60 seconds because the person like has to come up on the stage and then there's like a whole thing, right? There's a lot of comparisons people make comparing it to MMA or boxing or other events like that. And those things are like designated breaks in the action. And coaches and these things have worked with you for like months and months and months. And their whole job, part of it is the ringside coaching that comes in. It's not really the same as like a fighting game event where their rule is like, yeah, you can kind of have coaching between matches and like it's like this. And some events don't allow it. Like there are just breaks in combat sports and that's just how they go. I used to be a wrestler, as you guys know. There's not always dedicated breaks for wrestling people to get coaches, right? When you're a wrestler, you sort of just wrestle and then your coach can yell stuff to you from the sidelines. And then sometimes somebody gets hurt or something happens and your coach can give you advice in the middle of the match. There was definitely people who would get out of breath or want coaching or something, and they would pretend that they hurt their ankle or something. And then when the ref like has your coach come over and look and check it out and see if you're okay, the coach would give you coaching. Dubious things like that to try to get extra advice because that stuff can be pretty impactful, right? It could be a pretty big deal. I don't buy the idea that fighting games need to have coaching. I also think it can be fine if the coaching time is regulated and stuff, but you have to be pretty serious about how you do it. It creates a dynamic where like people who have someone with them, somebody who has a coach available to them, they get way more benefit out of it than if somebody doesn't, right? So like if somebody travels here from outside the US and they don't have anybody with them from wherever they're from, everybody here in the US has access to all their friends because all their friends are at the tournament. They're at a disadvantage in terms of this coaching time, right? Because they can't really utilize the coaching time. So then it becomes also like, if you can travel with your friends and afford that kind of stuff or travel with your coach or whoever, then you gain a lot of value out of it. That way it creates like an extra monetary strain that you have to consider. There's just a lot to it. It's not an easy solution. At the very least, the current way that Tekken coaching is it really drags the tournament and the pace of the matches down a lot. It is funny you say phone a friend because I don't know if you guys watched EVO Grand Finals, but Angry Bird called Big Bird right before he plays Punk. He's like on the phone, says something, and then he hangs up. And he like said, he's like, yeah, Angry Bird called me and gave me advice. Like he told me what to do. His coaching was like 10 seconds. And the set went from being completely free to like really close. His advice was very good. And basically the short version of his coaching was whatever you do, don't grab. Like let him throw you a million times. Don't whiff grab and like take like this huge punish and all this kind of stuff. Don't whiff, bro. Either commit to like button or escape or just eat the grab. That's the correct way to play against Punk's play style in general. The way Punk dances on people and like creates whiffs and baits and stuff like that, you either force immediately and you don't let the situation persist, or you just hunker down and you do nothing. You commit to not existing and eat the throw. Those are the two like strongest choices against the way he likes to play offense. It's hard commitment to an option or hard commitment to no option. Clearly, it mattered, right? It was an important part of the set. And also, you know, he had time between the sets to like figure stuff out on his own too. It's not like Big Bird can't think about stuff. But I mean, that's a valuable bit of coaching, right? You can't just like trivialize it as like the coaching is not impactful, because I think it can be very impactful. And if you're going to have it, then it needs to be snappier and tidier than it currently is. It's so long right now. It takes forever. The final should not feel like a drag because of something outside of the gameplay. Whether that's rock, paper, scissors in the middle of a top 6 or coaching, something should be moving and grooving. On that very topic, I was talking about programming for TwitchCon, and like there's stuff on the stage for the tournament, and then there's stuff on the stage that's like for fun, for audience participation. And I was like, that portion cannot exist during the gameplay. The gameplay has to start and stop and end. Any other portion or thing that's done on the stage has to be before or after. You can't be interrupting video game tournament time with other stuff. Less time for coaching in Tekken would solve a lot of problems. I think if they like hard committed and they're like, all right, you have 30 seconds instead of 60, I think that would like cut down quite a bit. I also am of the opinion that I'm all down for not getting coached. Like you get your coaching pre-match, but you don't get it like in the middle. It's so disruptive and it's very impactful, especially with players that play each other less frequently, or players that like have some data on someone. They haven't played them in a while, so they have a new idea to try. Or they played them recently and then they have like a new character, or like something has changed and they're like, okay, cool, I can send it with some new options here. Like somebody else in the audience could come up and give them counter prep, and then just whatever your strats and things you're doing is just now like, uh-oh, now you got to readjust again. Yeah, that's another thing. Tekken tournament, someone wins 3 straight rounds, dominant performance. They perfected them like the last round, like they're looking good. Someone goes up on the stage to coach them. I'm like, what are you going to say? Communicating to them like, yeah, the way you beat his ass, do that again. You're going to say that for 60 seconds? I'm pretending to coach you. I'm pretending to, like, it's like your call out. I'm pretending to coach you. I'm pretending to coach you. I can't imagine what the conversation's like. Listen. Doing fake comms like that, I'm coaching. I don't know why this shit's always funny to me. I'm getting hit. I'm getting owned. I didn't anti-air. He's doing a combo. I'm dying. I don't have burst. It's over. I'm making a salty tweet. I'm salty tweeting. It's tweeted. People are roasting me. I'm being ratioed. He's one. I ult them. Use all my abilities on them. They're still alive with 25% HP. He's actually won, bro. You know when someone's actually literally won and then you just like whiff like 7 shots and then you're just like, nah, he wasn't one, bro. I hit him hella. I don't know. He must have healed. He's too tanky.